Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of EDU 600 Research Methods and Techniques. On Monday, April 28th, we start our final week, or week number 14 in this class, and it is the last week. You will quickly see there's no new materials that are expected of anybody. It is a week that's dedicated to some of you still need to submit some of the work, but others are current on everything, and you can jump right into the writing of your final review paper, which is an assignment. So there's been some questions coming my way about the nature of the final assignment, and I wanted to go through the details of this assignment to make sure that everybody is clear what are the expectations and what are some of the considerations for the final assignment, which is the big paper. It is the culminating paper of the course. It's worth about a third of your grade. So I would encourage everybody to take a look at the materials that are available on Brightspace. Look at this video, look at the exemplars, and spend some time trying to organize how you're going to write the paper. So let's get right to the final assignment. So the final assignment, as it says here, is a synthesis of your 6 articles. So if you remember, you did an article capture 1, you did an article capture 2, and then you did the comparison or the data matrix. Now, I use the word draft matrix only because in the final assignment, which is due in May, on May 6th, you have to write the paper, but I also want you to attach your matrix. Now, some of you, between when you submitted the matrix last Sunday to when you write the paper, you might change an article or two. It sometimes happens. All that I mean by the final matrix is if you make any modifications to your matrix that you sent to me, and I provided your grade, which is 2 points and some comments. If you make any changes, just make those changes in your matrix. That's why I call it the final matrix. The matrix is not the final assignment. The final assignment is the writing of a pretty major paper that summarizes your 6 articles that you captured in article capture 1 and 2. So the review, you take your articles and please take a look at chapter 17. There's examples in there. I'll show you where there's a rubric, and there's loads of exemplars for this final assignment. I would like everybody to use these headings. Major course ideas. These are prompts. These don't mean you have to answer every one of these questions. It is just meant to help you write your final paper. The problem statement, what's the problem of the study? And review of literature, purpose, hypothesis, research questions, data collections, analysis, writing and organization. Was the structure of the overall study consistent with the topics that were addressed? Conclusions and recommendations. So here, some APA style you can use to actually help you with the actual headings. So let me just stop right here for a second. What you are doing with your final paper is you take your 6 articles and you summarize, using these headings, you summarize each one of the sections. How you do that is up to you. You might want, what I suggest is that early on you introduce the topic, meaning what is the topic, why are you interested, why were you interested in this topic, and then go through this systematically, list the articles, and then come down, review of literature. What did the review of your 6 articles say? What were the key points? What were the major bodies of knowledge that these articles were um, pulling from? And what I mean by that is in every one of these papers, there's going to be a literature review section. Some of you have gotten comments in both of your qualitative and the experimental critiques about you need more details. This is the opportunity in your final paper to go into more details. What's the review of literature? The purpose, hypothesis. Some people systematically go through in the first article, this was the purpose of the research, but some people clump them into saying, okay, I had 3 qualitative articles and 3 quantitative articles. I'm going to try to write about them in a coherent manner together. Or you might say I had 3 mixed methods and 1 qualitative, and how the real challenge of this is how you organize your paper. It's not for me to say you need to do 6 critiques, because that is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you telling the story and critiquing these 6 articles using the format that we've been studying all semester. So here is the information, the final review once again. So one important thing I'd like to mention, in addition to the review, meaning your paper, I would like you to write at least 3 paragraphs on how you would conduct practitioner or action research, which was the topic for week number 13. It is practitioner, and this is not a research proposal. You do not have to conduct research. It's just, okay, as the result of studying and writing about these 6 articles, what is missing? What would I do? How would I conduct some action research to find out more information on this topic? So once again, here's the same information. 12 to 15 pages, that's included in the materials. And what I do want to show you is some additional information, the final review. I'm going to click on this. Come down here, and you have a final review rubrics. This spells out in kind of hopefully this will help in many ways. So these are the sections: introduction, theory, design and purpose, sampling. By the way, in the rubrics, you will see the titles and the headings are a little bit different. If you feel more comfortable using these titles than what I put on Brightspace under the assignment, do so. But I can tell you they coincide very well. So once again, sampling, introduction, summary of the general topic, description of why you selected the topic, and how your search progressed. So how did you do it? Theory and design, sampling, data collection, data analysis, quality of the studies, high quality products. So this is worth 35 points. You can see each one of these, just say in the introduction, you get a 5 out of 5, which would be expert. A 5 would go in here. Pretty simplistic as far as each one of these. Data analysis, results, quality, and once again, if you are kind of hitting the basics, that's one thing. You're probably going to get a 3 out of 5. If you really have skimmed the surface, you might get 1. But I can tell you, most people end up in these sections. So take a look at the rubrics. You can download that. If you follow the rubrics, you will be golden. So let me show you a couple of things, and I'm going to try to wrap this up as quickly as I possibly can. So in here, if you come to module 14 and 15, you have information. You can use these headings, or you can use the headings that are on the rubrics. I did want to show you one more thing in here, the interpretive review assignment. I'm going to click on that. Each one of these, you will see there's exemplars, the matrix, rubrics, etc. You come in here. Once again, here's the review matrix. Matrix sample with articles. You've done the matrix already. And I just wanted to, I'll click on this one. Students in school, just so you can see what's involved. So here's an exemplar. Introduction. You know, be honest. I struggle to find articles on transgendered children because blah, blah, blah. You can go through that. Theory, design, and purpose. This is just one paper. Sampling of each of the 6 articles. How you want to organize this and write about it is up to you. So that is one example, and I can tell you, let me go back here. I'll show you there's loads more exemplars located here. Generation Y, I'll click on that also. Final review exemplar. Introduction. Take a look at that, read through it. Theory, design, purpose. So this is a really good one. You please take a look at the exemplars for just really good examples. They may not be perfect, but they will give you an idea of what I am looking for. So I'm going to stop right there. If you take a look at the materials, if you thoroughly review the materials, you take a look at week 14, week 15, and then come in here in the content area, interpretive review assignment. That's where you find the rubrics, that's where you find exemplars, etc. Take a look at all that material. If you still have questions or you're still having trouble to organize the paper, let me know, and we could do a Zoom, we can talk over the phone. This is the final paper. It's a pretty major one, 12 to 15 pages, and that doesn't count the first page, the cover page, or the references. And one thing I would like to say is you can, as the last page of your paper, you can include your action research proposal. And it's not a proposal, it's just 2 or 3 sentences on what you would do if you were conducting research moving forward. So that's it for me. I apologize for taking so long, but I think this is important enough. Once again, your final paper is a written paper, 12 to 15 pages, excluding the cover page and excluding the references. I'd like you to, no, I'll leave it there. I'll have more information coming forward. Hopefully this helps you conceptualize the final paper. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am here to help. So welcome to the last week of class. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, and concerns. I am here. See you, everybody.